Right now, we are going to move to the second part of our talk today. We have heard about Fagasa and what it needs. I know we have a lot of students in the audience. I know you have heard what you need to do now if you want to be a guide. So now let's hear from two of the guides who are on the ground. Let's hear how their journey has been and their story life. How did they get where they are? So we have Kutullo Shai. Kutullo Shai works as a guide and a manager at Ivumbu Private Lodge in Karongwe Game Reserve. And then we have Bongani Mgwena, who is a community wildlife educator at the Kon Havenga. I hope I've spelled that right. All right, so we are going to start with Kutullo. Kutullo, the stage is yours. Can you share with us what you got for us? Tell us how does it feel to be a guide?
Sure, yeah. First of all, I just wanna say thank you to everyone involved for giving me this chance. I think growing up, I never thought I would have such a platform, to represent the guiding profession in this way. So yeah, thanks to everyone, and thanks to Benice and all the guys at Fagasa for making this possible for people like myself to have this opportunity to study and take the profession and actually develop as an individual in the profession. So yeah, I'll just give you a short story about myself. I grew up in a small village called the Oaks. So fortunately, my village is quite close to the Olifants River, which is one of the major rivers within the province of Limpopo. And for me as a young boy, I always loved walking around the river, looking at animals, hippos, crocodiles, birds. And I think that sparked an interest in me wanting to be a guide. And I think from there, I never looked back, and then I think when I was about 12 years old, there was an outreach program that used to come to our school, and they would teach us about animals. There would be people from all over the world. And for me, I was quite shocked, like, oh, why are these people from all over the world coming to our villages and they know more about the animals than we do? So I was more curious and I wanted to know more. And yeah, fortunately enough, we were divided into groups, and my group was fortunate enough that at the end of the year, we won a trip to go to visit Karongo Game Reserve, the same reserve that I'm working at the moment. And we went on a game drive, and I think we saw cheetahs. And for me, that moment, when we were on that game drive and I saw the guide showing us the cheetahs, that's how I saw myself. I said, this is what I want to do. And yeah, fast forward uh, after matric, I volunteered at a few NGOs, one of them being Daktari Wildlife Orphanage. And I think through Daktari, I was quite uh, interested in what they do, and they saw my passion for wildlife. So they helped me to go to the Wildlife College, and I did my environmental education and field ranging course there. And when I came back, they sponsored my Fagasa studies, so they paid for my registration and my membership. And then I self-studied, and then while self-studying, I actually got an opportunity to go to a place called GVI in Karongwe. And then when I got there, I'm like, oh, I know this place. And it was the same place that when I was 12, I did my first game drive, and the people there didn't know. I told the Peter Bedford, I think, who was the country director at the time when I was there as a volunteer. I said to him, Peter, you took me on my first game drive. And he was like, really? And I explained the whole thing to him. And then he's like, yeah, I think I remember, and then, yeah, I finished my self-studying while I was there, and I became a guide. And yeah, I was fortunate that there was a space open in the at GVI. and I ended up working there as a research assistant. Yeah, and then after a few months, I got a promotion to become the outreach manager, and I was actually uh, managing the same projects that introduced me to guiding. I really loved it, and it actually was in line with what I wanted to do because for me, going to the wildlife college, teaching at the local schools, like places like Bongani, Velveteen, I just saw myself as someone who wants to really connect nature with people, because I really love nature and I also love to share that with people. And, it was a good combination. And yeah, I did that for a few years and then moved to Gubu where I'm currently at. I've been in Google now for about 4 or 5 years, and I've continued studying. I've done my advanced guiding, self-studied as well, and also did my trails guide, where my mentors were Brendan Wayne from Local Trace, also Noel from Chagra Trace. I learned quite a lot doing that. I think what Benis was saying about being with mentors, them showing you the ropes. I think it's unbelievable what those guys do. The experience they have, the passion, and all the things they teach you. It just grows on you. And for me, I thank everyone for that structure, for us as guides to enter through that. And yeah, I think through all of that, for me, because to get my qualification, I was sponsored by people who saw the passion in me. And then when I was in the wildlife college, I wanted to do something like that. And that's why, as the years went with the owners of the lodge and everything, I started to ask them, maybe we can start something where we give community members an opportunity to actually showcase their skills and maybe pursue a career in guiding if they are keen, and that's what I'm working on now. I've got a non-profit organization where we just give people an opportunity to become part of Agasa, to give them the access to reserves, so that we can grow this within our communities and show them that you can become a professional in guiding and actually, be an ambassador, like what Benis was saying, be a representative, and yeah, just be part of the upkeep of conservation and then preserve it for the future, because I think what we have, it's quite special to be in the guiding profession. If I recall some of the best moments for me as a guide, I was once on a drive with a couple. I think they were from the UK, but they were staying in Botswana for about 20 years, and they've never seen a leopard, even though they were in the Delta for such a long time. And on our first drive, we went out and we saw two leopard cubs at a waterhole. And, when they started breaking down and crying, and for me, that was the moment where you actually realize that, yes, it's about the animals, but, sharing those special moments with the people who come here to see the beauty that we have. That was quite amazing, and I've had so many experiences like that where, what as guys sometimes we might take for granted, it's something beautiful for people that they will remember for so many years. And I think that's why, to carry yourself in a professional way, to be ethical and to always do things in the best interest of the animals as a guide, I think it's such important thing, and that's why people return to this and they tell their friends and friends so that we can keep the industry going. So yeah, for me, that's just a short story about how I became a guide, and I love it every day. This is such an amazing industry to be part of, and to have this type of platform and share it with people who have the same interest means quite a lot to me. And I'd say I would advise everyone who's thinking about doing this to give it a shot, because You can go places, you will share special memories, and you can make a great impact in people's lives. You never know, just showing them that Impala might spark something that can really lead to a big thing. So yeah, hashtag I am for that as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Kutullo. I saw Benny's react as you were talking. That's the same feeling that I was feeling. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
your story with us. And it just reminded me when I said it's the most widening career in conservation. I really meant it because you
Mm,
tend to show people
mm,
things that they will remember for the rest of their lives. Like the leopard you showed to that couple, they will cherish that
yeah.
moment forever. So, yeah, thank you so much for that. Thank you. It was really an interesting story. Thank you.
No, no, no. Thank
So,
you. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, before I ask the audience to ask questions to you, I will rate Bongani speak first, then we can get the questions for both you and Bongani at the same time. Yes, Bongani, thank you so much and welcome to the stage. Now the stage is yours. Share us your story.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for the time that you're giving me, and also thank you. I like to also thank you guys for inviting me in this a journey of empowering our young learners from the community. So myself, I'm from around Akunuk. I was born and raised there. So growing up, I did not have the privilege to go on trips, and this has sparked more like a great desire in me to take part, because the only time I could see animals was on TV. So uh, I just told myself that no, I want to go and see those things that I'm seeing on TV. But my friends are actually telling me that they saw an elephant, saw a rhino, but I couldn't get a chance. So I told myself, no, when I grow up, I want to take part in such activities. So, fortunately, the universe has responded in a way that before I could even start applying for anything, I was offered a bursary by Old Mutual, which was a 6 months course to Southern Wildlife College, where I did my field ranging and environmental education and leadership skills. So when I was there, I was just doing my best. So I knew that where I come from, it was not easy. So I just had to put all my effort in whatever that I was doing. And somehow I was selected to go and work at the Mbabati Private Nature Reserve. But the way they sent me, they wanted me to go and become a ranger. And know that during this course, I was actually doing environmental education and also field ranging. So, but myself, I was more interested in the educational side of things. So there was a bush school in Timbawat Private Nature Reserve. Then when I was there, they realized that no, this guy is interested in birding, is interested in sharing the knowledge. Then they took me to the bush school that they had. Then that's where my life actually started. And but still, I was working within the communities, not in the boys' school, but reporting to the boys' school and also going to the boys' school, sometimes interacting with the learners, sometimes taking them on trails. But over time, I got a permanent job there at Timbawati Foundation, which is the boys' school. Over the years, I showed great interest in expressing myself in terms of teaching, because I was given an opportunity to take kids on trails, take them on a guided tour, museum guided tour, take them on trips, teach them from day one until day three, which is similar to where I am now, which is Kuru Camp. So we used to like wake up early morning, do some trails, and do some treasure hunting. So, but I realized that this is nice. I like teaching the kids, but I also want to be a guide. So over the years, my manager, Candice Pierce, I was so fortunate. So she realized that I know this guy really wants to be a guide. So because most of the time, when everybody was busy listening, myself, my hobby was reading books about nature, about mammals, amphibians, reptiles, and so on. So it was something that really interested me, and I had a great desire to just like read those things, but more I wanted to teach people about those things that I'm doing because I find them interesting. Then over the years, I was sent. I got an opportunity to get a bursary, which was arranged by Candice Pierce because she realized, no, this guy really wants to be a guide. Then I got a bursary from NJMO. Then that's where I started my Fagasa. I managed to do my trace guide there, my level 1, basic snake handling, level 2, first aid, advanced rifle handling, basic mechanic. So those are the type of courses that you do within your Fagasa course. So it was actually a 6 month course. Then after the 6 months course, there's a time where you need to be placed in a game reserve desk where you get your experience. So for myself, I already had that bit of an experience of transporting guests, taking them on guided tour, doing test guide. So um, as a Timbavati Foundation facilitator, they used to send us on various organizations such as Guru Camp. So when I got here, I was just a guest taking my kids to this beautiful camp. So when I got here on my game drive, so they were asking me a lot of questions, but I did not know that they were actually testing me and testing my knowledge of how good I know best. Then after some time, they called me and say, "Oh, do you are you a guide? Did you train to be a guide?" I said, "Yeah, I am a guide. I just finished my guiding." Then they say, "Okay, we like to offer you a job." So that's where things started. And yeah, so there was a post actually. Then I took the post and applied. Then there was some interview. I was taking it Guru Camp for 3 days. So they actually gave me the power to welcome the guests, teach them the whole program which they had here. So it was a something new for me. But yeah, I did manage to have a breakthrough, and at some point, I was selected to come and guide here at Guru Camp. So yeah, at Guru Camp, I'm actually working with different types of people, from the young guys from primary schools to high schools, adults, and the gogos. So yeah, it's something new. I've never taught the goggles. I used to only teach grade 4, 5, and 6 or 7, or grade 8 and grade 11. So now only even teach the elderly people, also intentional guests, but not much because the intentional guests that come here usually come with their beneficiaries. So if find that there's a CEO or a organization owner that comes with their kids to Guru Camp. So that's the only time I get to interact with international guests. But most of my guests is a local guest. Some of them speak my local language, some speak Pedi, some speak Sutu, but I also managed to also get to speak a little bit of Sutu and Spedi because of my guests. So I can manage to so I can adjust with them and teach them better. Because when it comes to the goggles, they don't speak English at all, and sometimes they don't even understand. So when they come, they only speak Pedi. So you need to speak Pedi in order to get to them and have them enjoy the actual experience of being in the heart of the bush. So yeah, it's quite an experience. So here at Guru Camp, I do most of the education, also the game drives, and yeah, I love the experience. I usually wake up every morning and make some tea, prepare for my guests before I even get a shower. Then after shower, then I prepare my binoculars and my educational lessons, which I go with them in the game drive. Then we start for game drive. So within Guru Camp also have different types of games. So when we go on a game drive, it's not about like trying to get to see the big five or see fascinating things. We also have some games which can help to teach kids more about birds. So if you what we call a bedding bingo, whereby kids can go around and help them to identify those type of birds, then they tick it off. So if they get it right, like 5 birds in a row, then they say bingo. Then there's number one. Then we also have a present. Then we come back, we play some creative learning games. We we do a lot of stuff. So it is a lot. So also have some campfire time. We'll play picture game cards. So it's very nice, really. So you can also check us on our Facebook and check what we actually do. So it is a lot, but yeah, I'm proud to be here, and it's quite an experience. And I'm very grateful that someone has given me this opportunity to study to become a guide, which is something that I always wanted. It was more like a dream job for me. So since I'm here, I just want to say that I'm grateful to be here. So if you are out there and want to be a guide, feel free. It's a beautiful environment. Where I am, I'm actually looking at Oliphant River flowing, so it's perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Bongani. I really love your story, and I love the way you were stuck. You're like not stuck. What the English word now? But then you kept on following your dream. You didn't fall for going to into guiding, but I mean to into range to becoming a ranger. But you followed the dream. Yeah, that's what is needed. When you know what your heart wants, you have to go for it, no matter what.
Thank
So, thank you so much for that. And
you,
your
Stella.
days, yeah, and it feels like your days go on smoothly and they're very funny, like with all the building and everything.
Thank you. It
Thank
is.
you. Yeah, so right now I will open up for questions from our audience. If you have a question, you can raise your virtual hand. And question for Bongani or Kutullo, both of them you can ask. Raise your virtual hand or ask in the chat, then I'll read it out for you. Oh, Selo has a question. Selo is from TUT. Let me just check it out. Okay, so he says, first of all, I would like to thank the speakers. They gave amazing stories and they are very informative presentations. My question goes to all the speakers, starting from Benis. Oh, besides money being the motivation to do your jobs, what is the one thing that wakes you up in the morning and make you wanna do your job? Thank you once again. So apart from money, what is the other thing that motivates you? So yeah, I don't know who wants to go first. Wongani, do you want to go first? Then we go to Kutullo, then Benis. What motivates you guys?
Okay, I can go first. So
Mm-hmm.
myself, yeah, when I was working, I already had a job, so I was earning a decent salary. So uh, I just like to be in the bush. So I find it to be very, very, very peaceful. In such a way that when I was in an interview, they asked me, so there at Kuru Camp, you're not gonna be going home every Friday and coming back to on Monday. So I ain't gonna be able to adjust. So I said like no problem at all. I like be in the bush most of my time, and even where I work, sometimes they'll like, Bongani, do you mind if you can stay for extra 3 days so you can attend our guests? So mean that you're gonna go for additional 2 weeks without going home. I did not have a problem at all. So like being in the bush is just something that I always wanted. So it's not about money. Even if I was offered another job somewhere with a better salary, I'll still choose to guide. So the only thing that I can do is just further my studies. I'm sticking with guiding.
Thank you so much, Wongani. So Wongani says it's the bush that he's following. All right, let's hear from Kutullo. Kutullo, what motivates you?
Oh, thank you. A nice question. For me, like it's being here. I listen to a lot of comedy, and one of the comedians, Dave Chappelle, he always says that you when you're living a dream and then you live in other people's dreams, it's quite amazing. And for me, I think I share the same philosophy. When you're a guide, you get people who save for their lifetime to come to Africa, and being that person who's actually making that dream a reality, I think for me that's the motivating factor. To see the smile on their face makes me wake up every day with a smile and motivation to do what I do. For me, yeah, it's living in that dream and then living those moments with the guests. That's the best thing about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kutullo. So Kutullo says is sharing the best moments with the people who come. Yeah, being part of their memories. That's really cool. Yeah. Now let's go to Benis. I am Pagasa.
So for me, it's working for Fagasa is a very cool thing. It's very rewarding, because you get people just like Bongani and Kutullo who are where they are, obviously because of their hard work and a lot of other factors, but Fagasa has helped them to get to where they are. So the qualification through Fagasa has just helped them get that little bit further. And it's knowing that every day we come in and we speak to people and we help people, we set the exams, we do all that kind of thing. So it's very rewarding. So and it's a nice atmosphere, nice company. It's just, so all of that helps. And sometimes I get to go, not as often as I'd like, but I do get to go to the bush. So I bumped into Kutullo once in the bush. And so yeah, but it's just rewarding.
So Stella looks like she's dropped off briefly. She dropped off earlier and came back very quickly. So hopefully the same thing will happen again. Everybody, I'm Kirsten. I'm with Shai Screen Africa, colleague of Stella's. And yeah, just while we're waiting, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Bongani and Kutullo and to Bernice. Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing to meet you and to hear your stories, and just very inspiring. I love the bush. I live in the Fynbos in Cape Town, so it's not quite the same thing. So yeah, thank you for getting us into the bush feeling. Here we go. Stella's back again.
Yeah. The internet is very jealous, didn't want me to finish and hear Bernice's answer. But I love the first part that I heard. That is so it's just, yeah, I can imagine it's very fulfilling to be part of the people who, like, part of a company that helps to bring the best guides into Africa. Yeah, that's quite very interesting. Thank you so much. Of course, we're running out of time, but I feel like it's very important if I can hear from the three of you, what is the most challenging thing that you have met in your work? Yeah, very briefly, maybe in a minute, if you can just say what was the most challenging thing that you've experienced before we jump into Mboni. Let's start with you, Kutullo.
For me, I'd say the most challenging thing for me was, I self-studied. I didn't go to any training provider. So some of the words that I saw on the manual was the first time I see them. So I think that was the most challenging part for me, to go to Google every time to search for the meaning of the words. But I think, because I had the passion and the love for guiding, I think the challenge became an opportunity as well to learn.
Thank you so much. And Bongani.
So for my side, I won't say that I have a challenge. I haven't experienced any challenge whatsoever, to be honest. So yeah, when I got here, they were so welcoming in such a way that they just said, okay, you have experience in this for some time. You've been doing this, so we trust that you do your best. And I always put my 100% best. So I don't have any challenges at all. Things are just going flawless.
Thank you so much for sharing with us that. And I would like to thank you so much for your time, as Kirsten has said, for making time to come and share your knowledge with us. We really appreciate. And thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you so